The ability to influence others in the workplace is one of the most important skills for individual and organisational success. Often we need to be able to influence others in a situation where we have no formal authority or positional power. In this video, Jane is attempting to influence Bob to modify an important draft proposal for a major new contract for the company. Jane wants to include a new technological approach that has great potential but is untested on a big project. Bob wants to minimise the risks and stay with a tried and tested technology. Jane is a service line leader and looks after the technological developments in this field for the company. Her expertise will be important in the project, but she does not have any responsibility for preparing the bid. Bob is the project director and is responsible for preparing the contract and winning the business. Here is an interaction between the two on the new technology.
Bob, have you got a few minutes? I need to talk about this InnoStruct deal.
Well, no, I don't really, and we're too far down the track to be starting to make changes now, so can this be really quick?
Well, there's just some things I think you need to know about Highply.
I already know more about Highply than I need to know. We made the decisions. We've had these discussions. We're locked in.
Well, nothing's really locked in until we put the proposal in. And basically, I think that this is going to be really important for the future of the business.
What do you know about the future of this business? When have you had to prepare a multi-million-dollar project proposal like this? I've seen all this before. You knew people come in wanting to make changes, wanting to go out on a limb with untried technology. We've made the decision. We're locked in. We are not going that way.
Well, look, that's typical of you guys who've been here for 30 years. You're not interested in listening to any new ideas. I think that this is going to be really important for us to pay attention to what the client wants.
We know what the client wants. I've got my people out there every day working with the client. It's done, right? Decided. Finito. No more discussion.
All right, have it your own way. Bloody dinosaur.
Spare us from engineers with ideas.
Not very successful, was it? Both walk away feeling angry and frustrated. There is also a major risk that the company may be locking itself into an outdated technology. Here is another interaction which starts the same way. However, Jane has given more thought to her approach and is using her influencing and communication skills to try to get a better outcome for herself, for Bob, and for the company.
Bob, have you got a few minutes? I need to talk about this InnoStruct deal.
Well, no, I don't really, and we're way too far down the track to start making any changes now. So can this be really quick?
So it sounds like you're pretty advanced with the proposal.
Yeah, well, we've got the basics covered, but there's still a huge amount to do. All of the input from finance and costings and legal and all of that detailed timeline stuff. There's a huge amount still to do.
Yeah, and I understand all that final minute checking and costing is an absolute pain in the neck. So it sounds like you're pretty tight with the timing for integrating all the bits as well.
Yeah, it's getting really, really tight, yeah. Look, I'm sorry if I'm sounding a bit irritated, but this is really a big project for us, a lot at stake here, and I really don't have much time to get it finished.
Yeah, look, I understand it's a really important project. That's why I think it's actually important that I pass on a bit of intel that I picked up at the clients the other day.
All right, come in and have a seat.
Thanks.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, I have to say, because my guys are in touch with the clients all the time, and they're not picking up anything that would indicate that the client's changing their thinking on this.
Well, look, your guys clearly have excellent relationships with the client. There's no doubt about that. I think it's one of the great strengths we've got going for us on this bid. But I suspect that their contacts are mostly at the technical level, and so they're probably not across the kind of info that's coming out of head office.
So, what have you heard that's going to ruin my day?
Look, I don't think it's going to be as bad as that, but there's a new technical director there. In fact, interestingly enough, it's a guy that I went to university with, so I know him reasonably well. He's just come out of the private sector, one of the big construction companies. He's pretty young, he's pretty bright. Basically, what he's saying to me off the record is that without something like Highply or something that offers kind of an equivalent flexibility in terms of modular construction, the bid's going to be dead in the water.
Yeah, well, I've been caught like that before. A lot of people say they want new and innovative stuff, and then they really screw you with horrendous penalty clauses when you don't deliver. So it's cost us huge amounts of money in the past with overruns and penalty clauses. So I just don't want to wear all that grief again.
So look, I understand that the potential risks with the new technology are of concern to you.
Well, yeah, you got that right. I mean, to me, it's as basic as either we go with something that we know and understand and it works well, or this alternative, which is, may work at some time, possibly in the future. Pretty simple, really, for me. It's risk management 101.
And management of risk is clearly an important part of your responsibility on this bid.
Yeah, well, of course. I've got to protect the company, not to mention my own job and reputation for getting things done around here. So, yeah.
So you're very clear about the risks involved with new and innovative concepts. Have you considered the risk of not innovating?
What do you mean? Are you suggesting here that I haven't thought about the risks of staying with the old technology?
I think there's risks both ways.
Well, I guess I really hadn't thought about it quite like that. But look, it's really too late now. We're locked in. We don't have time to go back to square one.
No, and I don't think we need to. Look, before we start leaping to solution, let's think about what do we both need here? What are your needs around this bid?
Well, I need to get it in on time.
Yeah.
Well, need to win the contract, basically, and that means getting a professional bid finalised and get it in on time, and we're getting really tight. It's less than a couple of weeks and still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I don't want to get burned in some high-risk gamble. Really need to keep my job here, especially with all you new people coming into the company.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you need to win the bid. You need to make sure that you've got something for them within 2 weeks, and you need to make sure that you're managing all the risks appropriately and professionally.
Yep, sounds pretty simple when you say it quickly like that.
Well, I don't think it is that simple, but let me talk about what I need here. My first need is the same as yours. I want to make sure that we win this contract. It's really important to me, and I think it's really important to the organisation. My second need is, and I'll be perfectly frank with you, I want to promote this new technology. I think that it offers enormous potential for the company, and I think if we can prove that it's successful with this bid, then there are markets opening up in China and India that could be enormous for us.
China, yeah.
So I think it's very important for the future, and quite frankly, I've got a personal agenda here as well, and that is that I am new in the company, and I want to be able to bring in this new technology and have it be successful.
So this is the first step in your new career plan, your ploy to take over the world.
Yeah, well.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so if we're clear about each other's needs, then I think the really important thing now is to figure out how we meet them all.
Without starting from scratch.
Absolutely, without starting from scratch. So have you got any ideas? Because I've got a few suggestions.
Yeah, well, this has come at me a bit suddenly, so I hadn't really thought about alternatives, but yeah, let's think about what the possibilities. So what were you thinking of?
Okay.
Well, I guess, that's probably doable, just.
Okay, so let's just be clear then what we've agreed. We'll continue to develop the proposal as you were doing it. On the technical side, we're going to offer two options, okay? The first is the established technology, full costing, timeframes and so on, pretty much
as we've already
got it done, that's right. The second option is Hi-Ply with a longer development time but shorter construction times.
And you're going to do all of that?
I'm going to do the Hi-Ply component, and I'll get it to you by the end of next week for incorporation into the final proposal. I'll have to get some advice on costing, but I'll sort that out. Now, is that going to fit in with your schedule?
Yeah, I think so, but we really can't afford any slippage.
Yep,
that's got to be it.
Yep, absolutely understood. Absolutely understood. So I better get onto it right now. So look, thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. I feel very positive about what we've got to, and I think, it's a good outcome. So I'll be in touch as soon as I've got some more information for you.
Okay, well, thank you. And as much as I'm reluctant to admit it, I think actually this does strengthen the proposal. So,
Well, that's great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bob.
Ironically, listening is the most important and underrated influencing skill. By listening carefully and demonstrating to Bob that she had heard his personal concerns, Jane was able to move to a more productive discussion. They were able to check out some assumptions, and both of them were more upfront about their hopes and fears about the project and the technology. They then explored the needs of each person and the company's needs. Having clearly identified the needs, they were able to identify a solution and met all needs and produced a successful outcome for the company.